Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, August 24th, 2021. Man, feels like it's been forever since I've talked to you, Fitzy.
It has been.
Right, it's like 3 weeks. And by the way, I want to say thank you to Washburn County Chief Deputy Steve Pank, who filled in for you a couple of weeks ago. It was nice to have a representative from Washburn County talking about Washburn County law enforcement. So that was great. And since it's been 3 weeks since you and I have actually done one of these shows, we have a lot to get to today. But first, for Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by ICAA, which, by the way, we just posted that this morning. ICAA just announced that they are one step closer to creating a mobile food pantry thanks to a generous $10,000 grant from Compeer Financial. The funds will be utilized to purchase a refrigerated truck that will bring food pantry items to smaller communities throughout 6 northwestern Wisconsin counties. For more information, we just published it on our website at Drydenwire.com this morning, or on our Facebook, or go to ICAA. You can find them on Facebook, or just go to their website at IndianHeadCAA.org. That's a pretty awesome thing that they're doing. I mean, wow.
Yeah, that's really neat. They do some really, ever since they've been a sponsor, they're a pretty impressive group of people. And I don't think there's a big group of people. I think it's a small group that run that. And I think they do a lot of stuff. It's really neat. Everybody should go to their website, check it out if they need help or somebody needs help, because they help a lot of people.
Yeah, and you said since they become a sponsor, so maybe that's why we start paying attention to it a little bit more. Right. But at the same time, no kidding, actually, because they've been their sponsor since, I think, November of last year. But no joke, I would say in the last 3 months, and I don't know what's changed, but they're announcing so many things and grants, and they're working on projects in the future. I have noticed in the last 3 months, they have been very active, engaged, and involved. And what more can you ask for?
Well, and so basically we've carried them. Is that
pretty much? That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
I got that too. Man, ever since they became a sponsor, they just blow up.
I'm just saying.
The next sponsor, just saying.
Yeah. Oh, I should find out if they want to be a sponsor for next year, or we should look for other sponsors. Maybe we'll do each show as a different. I don't know. We'll get to that some other time. So it's been 3 weeks. How have you been? What have you been up to?
A lot. We've been really busy here. We'll get into a lot of that. And my son's playing football, and my daughter started college yesterday. So Northwood Tech, the former WITC.
Yes.
Northwood
Awesome.
Tech started yesterday. So the tech college is back in session. High schools are starting next week. We're getting back into the groove. But we've been playing high school football a lot. So that's a new sport for me, and pretty excited about all the high school sports taking off and school going back into session. And we still got this COVID kind of hanging over us, but a lot of people are adjusting and making good choices, and that's all we can ask for. And the numbers keep creeping up, but just keep doing what everybody's doing. Get vaccinated, wear a mask when you want to. That personal choice, whatever you want to do. Just make good choices, and we'll get through this together, and we'll continue to do this. But
Can I ask, and if it's fine if you don't want to, it's kind of more of a personal thing, what is you said your daughter is starting, what is she going, is like general stuff, or does she have kind of I know what I want to do?
No, she's in her second year at the nursing program at Northwood Tech. So
okay, maybe you said that.
She's in her second year at Northwood Tech, formerly WITC. It's going to be hard to flip-flop those names, but
I know.
But we got a mascot now, Blaze the Bear at Northwood Tech, and I serve on their board of directors. And
of course,
that was our name change wasn't because of any reason. It was because to, relabel the school and get a mascot. Change their color. We did a lot of things behind that name change, and that's why we did it. And it's been a long time coming. It's been 3 years in the works. It wasn't because anybody made us do it. It was something we wanted to do, and we took our own time doing it.
Yeah.
It wasn't because it had the word Indian Head, or it had the word technical college, or it had the word this, and it wasn't. No one made us change it. It was something that I've been pushing for a lot of years, because WITC is just, it's hard to put that on a shirt. It's hard to put that. Now we have this logo and this bear and this, and it's kind of neat. And so that's why that changed. But
I love it. At our 10-year mark, we've decided, or we're kind of penciled in if we're still around then. So we're at, I think this October will be our 6-year anniversary.
Okay.
We're looking at actually rebranding and maybe different colors, different logos, etc. Because sometimes you have to take something that's working and make it better, right? Kind of
Right.
make it your own, and yeah. Oh, sorry, I got my emails on. I'm getting a whole bunch of emails. By the way, yeah, there's that $100. Evers just announced $100. So if you haven't gotten a flu shot, or a vaccine, you get $100 for it. So I've scheduled because I still haven't gotten mine. Not going against it at all. It just I don't really go anywhere. I go to the office here, or the studio, and then I go home. I'm never really around anyone except for my family. But really, I'm just lazy, right? And that's a stupid reason. Like if somebody walked in the studio right now and said, "Here's a shot," I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." But now that there's a $100, gift card or Visa gift card when you do it, I have a whole bunch scheduled from now until then.
I have a whole bunch of
Let's see if they pick up on
every
that.
hospital in North America, Western Wisconsin.
I'll be traveling around Northwest Wisconsin over the next week and a half. All right, so obviously, so I'm wearing my Drydenwire Goofballs shirt. You and I went with my father, Terry Dryden, and my brother, Matt Dryden. We had this foursome of the Drydenwire Goofballs, and Matt made some shirts for us, and it was for the Spooner Health. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a fundraiser. It was a golf outing, and then the fundraiser was for Washburn County Community First. Or maybe it's Community First Washburn County. I can't remember which way that goes. So they raised money for that. It was a blast. Thank you so much, Fitzy, for volunteering us to be a sponsor. Thank you very much. But also being a part of it, I had an absolute blast. That was so nice, spending 7 hours outside, gorgeous day. And that ties me into my trivia question for today.
Okay.
So the Spooner Health Golf Outing raised how much money for Community First Washburn County?
I saw the press release too. Okay.
Yeah. So if anyone else knows the answer to this, you may want to help Fitzy out here. A, $3,000, B, $4,000, C, $5,000, or D, $6,000. Now, by the way, we're at 19 points. So if we get to 25, then we're going to do a Ben and Fitzy show shirt, and we'll do a giveaway for that.
Right.
What are you thinking? I don't see anyone yet, but I think there's like a 20-second delay for comments for some reason.
Right. And you always tell me to pick C.
No, that's what Matt always says.
Well, that's what Matt always says.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's C because I think I remember the press release that there was a picture. I'm going to go with D.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it, now I'm second guessing it because that's all I was thinking of as I remember the picture. I believe it was 6,000. Actually, we're going to go with 6,000.
Okay, good. Yeah. Now we're making up our own trivia question. That's good.
The answer's right. Yeah, that sounds good.
Maybe Mike's online. He'll tell us.
Oh, right. So 6,000. That is absolutely right. So that was, a great. It was for a good cause. It was a lot of fun, and boy, raising money for Washburn County Community First or Community First Washburn County. My goodness, it was absolutely worth spending the money to sponsor that and going out. So thank you. Real quickly, did you have a good time? Because I really haven't talked to you since then.
No, yeah, I had a blast. I appreciate Drydenwire for sponsoring, and that was great. We had a great time. There was a lot of fun people. There was some great games on the course. We had fun, and we actually didn't golf too bad.
not that bad. What did we finish with after 18 holes? It was a golf scramble. What did we finish with? I mean, we were like one of the bottom.
5 over.
5 over after 8. That's pretty good.
I think the winning team was 18 under, so we were a little ways off.
Well, whatever.
It might even been more than that, but it was Spooner Golf Club. Never golfed there. Beautiful course. Beautiful. I mean, just unbelievable. They did a good job. Spooner Health did a great job. I mean, everybody. It was just a really fun time. I won a camping chair, so
That's right.
we donated money and had a little fun, and it was great.
Yeah. Anytime we couldn't find Fitzy, we're looking around like, where's Fitzy? You're buying these tickets and putting your name and putting them in everything. I'm like, man, you should just live at a fair. It's great.
There was hot dogs and raffle tickets. I was in heaven.
All right. Do you have a trivia question today? It's been a while, so I forgot to even remind you to have one.
Nope, I do have a trivia question because it's Drive Sober Get Pulled Over. This starts this week through Labor Day weekend. So that is a DOT-sponsored event, and we do a lot of extra traffic enforcement over the next couple of weeks. So in 2020, the whole year, in Wisconsin, how many alcohol-related crashes were there? So I have the choices. So we have 5 to 6,000, 6 to 7,000, 7 to 8,000 or 8,000. So every car on the road in Wisconsin, how many alcohol-related crashes were reported to the DOT?
My first thought has to be 8 because I think you're going somewhere with this. So that'd be my first thought, but I'm not that confident in that at all. So, boy, if I guessed it and got it right, we would be at 25. We need like a
Right.
bonus question or something in the show.
I have a bonus one
Oh,
too.
you do? All right.
I do.
Oh, good. Well, hold off on that one. Let me see. Okay, remove one of them.
Remove one of them. I'm going to remove the D, 8 plus. So it's 5 to 6, 6 to 7, or 7 to 8.
Well, I have no idea. So, you know what? Remove one more, and then I'll at least take 1 point if I got a 50-50 shot. So remove one more.
I'm going to remove the obvious one, 5 to 6. So now it's 6 to 7 or 7 to 8.
Cheryl said A with a question mark.
Yeah.
And we just removed that one. So 6 to 7 or 7 to 8. Well, that.
It's just
I'm going to go C. I'm
alcohol-related
going to listen to my brother Matt, who says always do C. So I'm going to say 7 to 8.
6,050. So it was B.
Now we just lost a point.
That's okay.
All right. Wow.
So now, how many deaths in Wisconsin in 2020 were alcohol related? So, and we tried to go for 0, obviously in Wisconsin. So 125 to 150, 150 to 175, 175 to 200, or 200 plus. Now, how many deaths in Wisconsin on our roads?
Well, you don't really make these easy.
Well,
should be like
they're not-
one should just be an obvious no. But so I'm gonna A can't be it. It just can't. Well, can I ask you a question? Was it obviously we want to have 0?
Right.
When you saw this number, were you I don't know? Was it I hate to say a good year, but compared to other years, did this go up or down? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't compare it to other years.
All right, I'm going with Mary Hills. We're just gonna shoot for the stars here. We're gonna guess right now, and we're gonna say B, assuming she's talking about this one,
Right.
and
She
not a
is.
different one. 150 to 175.
Correct. 167. You got it right.
Mary, I love you. Thank you. Woo!
So, but there's 167 deaths.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
So obviously we try to get to 0. So obviously drinking and driving is a big thing.
Yeah.
We're going to be out all weekend. It's rutabaga this weekend, so we'll be frying up hot pepper sandwiches at the pepper stand starting on Thursday, and we have a safe ride program, and so we work with the Cumberland Bars, Bourbon's Bars, Cumberland Police Department, and the Sheriff's Department wrote a grant for a safe ride program. So for $10, they'll take you home and back, pick you up at your home within so many miles of Cumberland. I think it's 15 miles, 10
That's
miles.
a lot of actually. I mean, 15
Right.
miles. That's a big area.
And I don't know the exact mileage, but they're going to do this to pick you up before you start drinking and drop you off after. I mean, you can't beat this program. They have buses, vans, cars for small groups, big groups, $10 per person round trip. We got a reduced rate because we pay for some of the funding through the grant. It's not a huge grant. It's about, I think it's $2,500. We do some advertising with that.
Sure.
So we're very, but it's drive sober, get pulled over. We want everybody. We put some stats up online this morning. So just, think about all that before you go out and make your plans for this weekend and next weekend, which is Labor Day weekend. The next 2 weekends are big weekends here in Barron County. So we're prepping our traffic division for, an increased traffic next weekend being the last weekend of summer. And this weekend is always a big time with rutabaga. So we're excited for all of that.
So drive sober, get pulled over. Is that just extra patrols, or is this, a lot of times my brother-in-law enforcement, I shouldn't have said somebody that I know that used to be in law enforcement once told me that, there isn't profiling in terms of racial profiling, at least from his knowledge in where he was, or this individual was. But there is when it comes to like vehicle. If it's 2 a.m. and you're driving a vehicle that is falling apart, rusted out, tabs expired, it's okay. You know what? I'm going to pay attention to that one a little bit more. So is this something where we're going to not try to find more reasons, but maybe before we'd let this go, but now we're going to pull you over because it's part of this campaign. We want to see if you've been drinking, or is it just more patrols? What actually is drive sober, get pulled over?
No, it's just increased patrols. It's a non-funded, so we don't get extra overtime. So we fund this on our own. We do just some extra traffic. So when there's some downtime, we do some extra increased enforcement of traffic. It's just to raise awareness. But no, I would say no. I would disagree with that and say we look for all violations. It's obviously at night it's easier to find violations. Your
Right.
tail lights out, it's harder to see that during the day, unless you're right behind the car, your headlights out,
Yeah.
things like that. You just have see more
Awareness.
violations,
Right.
but
Sure.
you
Sure.
also
Yeah.
see the seatbelt wearing versus, during the day where you can see somebody not wearing their
Yeah.
seatbelt or something like that.
Okay. So I want to get to. I know we have a few other topics to get to. We have so much,
Mhm.
but presses and articles. I've done a few, but this is over the 3 weeks. But there's only one I really wanted to talk about, and that was our headline was Barron County District Attorney issues report on officer involved shooting. We put that up a couple of weeks ago or a week and a
Last
half
week,
ago with
yeah.
the entire report, and it details everything out in there. And basically, it was that the officer was not being charged.
Mhm.
Obviously, you saw that too. You probably knew about it before that
No,
press
I
release was
didn't.
sent from the
Actually,
DAs. Hmm?
no, I mean, I got it from the DA as he was releasing it, and he talked to me about it, but we did not have a conversation for about a month intentionally, because, I don't want my to influence him or him to influence me. And so we didn't share the videos, watch them together, do anything. He got everything fresh, and he produced a very detailed report. It wasn't just, I'm not charging the officer and signed his name. DA Wright did a fabulous job, in my opinion, of laying out everything in detail of, some of our CADs and the call log was involved in that. I think it's 14 or 17 page report,
Yeah.
and I think he did a good job. I mean, I had full confidence that that was going to be the answer. Our independent panel, proved
Yep.
him, to not violate any policies, the use of force was correct, et cetera, et cetera. Prior to this report, which
Hmm.
they're independent, they didn't work together. He didn't see our report. We don't make a report actually. We just vote, and that's how that independent.
Sure.
But you'll see it. You can read it online. We shared the Drydenwire because I wanted people to see it. I
Oh.
wanted people to see it from start to finish because I think it's important to be. Obviously, we're very transparent in this department, probably too transparent, um, but it was the right decision in my mind, and you know. You can't point a gun at anybody, and our job is to react to that. And we
Yeah.
did a lot of negotiations prior to the shooting, and that shows that how much time went through this, and how much negotiation we did. It wasn't just we pulled up and said, "Oh, there's a guy with a gun," and then it
Sorry.
took some action.
Right.
There was a lot that went into this prior to that, and that's what this report shows. I'm very
Mm.
happy with it. I'm very, our officer is back to work and ready to go. And I mean, it's kind of the end of the story. I mean, it's a tragic event that we wish never happened, but we have to react to some things, and that's what law
Yeah.
enforcement is about. And I appreciate all the support.
Have you received any? What is the feedback that you are hearing from community members? Whether they see you on the street, we go to the gas station, or likely McDonald's, or the gas station to get Mountain Dew.
That's right.
Yeah, we totally need them for a sponsor because you drink so
Yeah,
much
we
Mountain
do.
Dew. Like, we don't even have to pay
Like,
us. Just give
Mountain
Fitzy
Dew's
home.
great.
Yeah, just just give us a couple of cases of Mountain Dew every month. Send it to the sheriff's office. What kind of feedback have you received after that announcement?
Well, no, a lot of positive support. I mean, with the temperature across the nation, you don't know how people are going to react to something like that. But no, I think we were transparent from the beginning. We didn't release anything. I mean, I know
Yep.
some people are still trying to release it, but it's still an active case because we're waiting to see charges on the suspect, and so it's still an active case. We still can't go into a lot of details about it, but the DA Wright released what he felt he needed to show people that the officers went there, did everything they can. So no, the public has been unbelievable supportive of the officer involved because it sucks for him. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not what we want to do today. Wake up and say, "Hey, guess what I'm going to do today?" That's not
Yeah.
what we do in law enforcement. And when we have to deal with that. Our families have to deal with that. Our partners have to deal with that. And so, I've been a lot of support for the officer in our department, as there is every day. And that's why. And partly is because of we come on the show and we talk about this stuff. And it's not easy to talk about. It's not fun to talk about, but that's what we do to make a difference and to show people, what the sheriff's department's all about, what our officers have to do, and what our families have to see and go through.
And he is, I believe the last time he was on the show, he was back at work, right?
He is back to work, yes.
Good. So this from your from a law enforcement standpoint, from a sheriff's point of view and perspective, this is are you kind of this is at this point we're finished from our end. If there's any charges or anything else that's going to we're finished with everything. We've done every report. We've waited for we're finished and we've moved on.
We have moved on. We're ready to, we're tackling the next case and the next thing, and so the sheriff's department is done with this. We won't talk about it anymore. We
Sure.
won't, we can talk about it with anybody who wants to talk about it if they have questions or comments or something like that. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I just don't need to talk about it anymore. We've got our employee assistance program for our deputies. We're doing after action debriefs. We're doing a lot of things, and how we could do something better. Is there something we can do different next time? Is there a way we should position ourselves differently? So we review all of that, and that's all being done too to make sure that we did everything right, but is there something we could do to be a little safer or do whatever it is? So we talk about that with all of our major cases, not just this case. Every major case gets deep.
So there was a question here from Katie. Is the jail roster a public record? I assume that's for you, but we also do those. So on Tuesdays, when we're finished here, I'll do for all 6 counties. But this may have been for you actually as well, because speaking of that transparency that you always have, on your website it actually has the weekly bookings and your entire jail roster, and it's interactive, right? All hyperlinks. You click, you see the photos, see what they're arrested for, etc. So can you want to take that? Is the jail roster a public record?
Yes, it is a public record, and ours is updated every 15 minutes. So if you're arrested at 9 o'clock, you're not going to be on there until like 9. You have to be booked in.
Well, right.
So if you're not booked in, but it updates every 15 minutes. So if you're booked in between 9 and 9:15, at 9:15 it updates automatically, and you'll be on there. So it is a public record. It's updated automatically. We don't remove people from it. We don't, once they're booked out of jail, they're off of it. But as you've seen, we have a 7-day. If you've been booked in the last 7 days, we have a 7-day thing, because some people might get released this afternoon at 1 o'clock, and then the media wants a picture of them to put with their criminal complaint. Well, we have that on there because we have a 7-day. If you've been booked in the last 7 days, your picture stays on there on the 7-day roster, so that people can go out. It's easy. It's the media can go out, grab that picture they want, and use it because otherwise they have to request it. Our jailers to stop what they're doing, send them a picture. It's just less time for our jailers. So, but yes, it is a public record. Some people don't like that. They don't want their picture out
there. They usually send me messages, by the way. Every it's like twice a year. It just no kidding. It's almost every 4, 5, 6 months. One person will have a problem, and then it just kind of takes off, and we kind of have to explain it again. Well, it's public record, and the other 4 counties, they send it to us, or 5 counties, they send it to us, and we publish that. To be honest, I don't even look at them because it has nothing to do with my job, believe it or not. I don't write report or criminal complaint stories based on somebody that's arrested. Like, I don't care. I go to CCAP for that stuff. I can't remember the last time I actually looked through any of these. I couldn't care less, but everybody else seems to. And, it is public record, and newspapers are doing this forever. Not that we like to really compare ourselves to newspapers, but, it's public record. It is what it is. I get it. And I think someone asked me once that what if it was your family member that's on there? It's, well, you know what? Tough. Yeah, they're I'm not going to remove it. It'd be embarrassing for all of us. But that's kind of how it goes. It's not meant to shame anyone. It's just these are the people that were recently booked in. Done. Yeah, that's always kind of a hot topic there. What else is going on down in Barron County?
We got lots of stuff going on. We had some pretty cool events over the last couple of weeks. Our first event we had we did a tribal outreach event, and I had written a grant about 6-8 months ago, and we finally got around to completing that grant. And through that grant, we were able to purchase some food and have some outreach to make sure that we're reaching every citizen of Barron County. That's my goal. Is to make sure everybody knows what resources are out there. So basically, we had National Night Out a couple weeks ago, which was very successful. We kind of talked about that, how successful it was. But prior to that, so we had this one we have the Maple Plain Reservation. It's about 1 square mile in Barron County, and it's on the edge of the county, so it probably doesn't get a ton of attention, and I just wanted to go out there and have this event. So we ordered some Subway and some Domino's through this grant, went out there, and I just happened to say, let's invite somebody. So I invited a fire truck and the ambulance, and I worked with the tribal chief, Frank Taylor, and he got some DNR wardens, and he got Smokey the Bear bulldozer.
What?
We got a fishing boat, the DNR fishing boat. And then we said, well, what about inside the building? And so where the food was. So then I got the Cumberland Library, and I got the St. Croix Health Department, and our Barron County Health Department said, we're come out and give vaccines away free. And then we got Embrace to come out, and St. Croix Valley SART, and CRA, which is the Community Referral Agency. So all these resources that came and just handed out their business cards and says, if you need something, this is what we're doing.
Wow.
And it worked really well. We had 6-8 cops out there. Cumberland PD showed up because they deal with them, and we just had fun. There was no talks, there was no nothing. Just had a blast eating food, Subway with the kids, and throwing frisbees, and climbing on the fire trucks and the ambulances, and because that's what it's about. We had our SWAT truck out there because sometimes that's the only time they see it is when it's this negative, bad thing. We're going to arrest somebody, and we want to create that positive image. So we have these outreach events. I want to do more of these outreach events to some of our communities, around the area. And so we just had this great outreach event. I went door to door and delivered flyers to all the homes out there. I mean, it wasn't a ton of homes, but we went door to door and made sure everybody was invited. We called it Food, Fun, and Friends. We didn't do anything else, and we just had a blast. And I'm just happy with the turnout from both the law enforcement side and the community partners and all the tribal members that came out. And I think we touched all the families out there, and that was our whole goal. And I think to have a goal, and we were hoping for 50 people, and we got rid of 10 platters of subs and 22 large pizzas in 2 hours, and it was great. I mean, it was awesome. We just had a blast, and it was just
when you first had this idea of doing this, until you did it, and you had said that, then I called these, and they said they would go, and then I called this, and then I called, and next thing you know, so from just out of curiosity, when you first had the idea and you made that first call to see if someone else wanted to be a part of this, until it happened, how many days was that? Was this like a month and a half in planning?
Yeah, definitely a month and a half in planning. It was a lot of planning. I mean, just to order the food ahead of time, and and to get 10 platters of subs and to invest in. I mean, it was a year in the making because we wrote the grant hoping to do something like this for that community. And so we have a couple different pockets of communities and out there, maybe the Somali population is next, or something like that, or just maybe we do it in Dallas and which is a small village in the county where they don't have their own national night out. We only can have them, we don't have them to have them in every city. So maybe it's something we can do just to reach out to people and do some outreach. And, I want to make sure I'm available first and foremost because, I have 44,000 bosses and that's the goal of mine. I've been thinking about going to different libraries and just sitting around there for a couple hours every week, and go to the Cumberland Library, the Rice Lake Library, and just sit and say, you come and ask the sheriff whatever you want to ask him, or come and complain, or come and tell me about your neighbors, or come and help. Well, let's work through a problem that you have, things like that. So that's my new idea, is just to try to make myself more accessible. I'm very accessible. I try, but I can be more accessible, I think.
Well, you always have been, so I'm not sure how you do even more, but I understand what you're saying. And by the way, I love the idea of you going to the library, and if you got a problem, concern, complaint, anything at all, come and talk to me, and I'm going to piggyback on that, and then let me know what those days are. And then when someone sends us, some hate mail, I will say, go talk to Fitzy at the Cumberland. So you can answer all those questions for me too.
Maybe we can do it. Maybe we should do our show live from the library.
Right. Oh, that's great.
So that was a really cool event, and I'm just happy that that's something that came out of some good of them ideas came out of our citizen action team. We created a year ago. That was our citizen action team came and helped serve the food. So that was something that they're doing. So a lot of people say, what happened to this team? It's still active. It's still going on. The next idea that came out of this was we planted a tree for a victim yesterday here at the sheriff's farm right out front of our building. Stacy Wachowski was involved in a very violent domestic about 9 years ago. One of my first real big cases as sheriff, where there was this violent domestic, and she was ultimately in a coma for a long time, and then in a state and then passed away from her injuries. It took a couple years for her to pass away, and talking with her sister and her kids, and we always wanted to do something and just never did. And it came about this summer about doing some different outreach events and doing something different. And her sister contacted me and said, we talked about planting a tree years ago, and we never did it. Let's do it. And so we ultimately planted this tree, and we wanted a safe place for survivors. And we always use the word victims, and we're going to quit using that word victims. And we're going to use the word survivors. And so we wanted to create a place out front of the Justice Center because it's a safe place to rest, reflect, and to visit with somebody. Maybe it's a survivor that just wants someplace safe to go and just reflect, and there's kind of a little pond out front. And so we planted a tree in honor of Stacy, and we put a sign out there that said, "Love shouldn't hurt." And yesterday our DA came out, Brace came out, we took a picture together. You're going to see those on our Facebook page this morning. And now it's kind of grown in the last 12 hours into somebody wants to donate a bench and somebody wants to plant some more flowers out there. So we're going to create this kind of safe place for people to go, any survivors, anybody and we're actually looking at an enclosed brochure, so you could pick up an Embrace brochure or a St. Croix Valley SART brochure. So we just want to make things accessible to people where they don't have to come in and say, hey, I need Embrace, I need St. Croix Valley SART, I need that. How do I access this? And so if we can create some place where people aren't afraid to go and there's some information available to them, but we also just want it to be a safe place. In front of the Justice Center is a safe place. You can't be followed. If you have a problem, we're right there 24/7. Our dispatch is right there, right out the window. So we're creating this safe place. That's kind of this survivor area, if you want to call it. And now I think it's going to bloom into something probably bigger than I've ever dreamed. And I think that's what's cool about Barron County and Washburn County is we can take these ideas and we just run with them as a community. And I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty honored that people want to be part of this. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm in honor of Stacy. Like I said, it was a big case for us and her family, and love shouldn't hurt. And we've worked with Embrace and talked about domestic abuse, and we talked about with Embrace yesterday about having October's Domestic Abuse Month and maybe doing something here. But it sounds like we're going to create some space with a lot of volunteers in the community, and they're going to upkeep it for us, and I think it's going to be really cool. So.
I love the "love shouldn't hurt." I've never heard that before. I don't know if that was something maybe that's been used before, but
they used it
that's
on
brilliant.
Her shirt. That's why I got it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. What kind of tree? Maybe you've said that. What kind of tree was it?
It's a lilac tree, ivory silk lilac tree, and so we got it yesterday with the help of Tree Frogs and Chautauqua, and they helped us with that, get us a nice tree at the end of the season. Doesn't need to get watered this week. It's pouring outside right now, so we're good to go.
And how big is this? Like when you plant a tree, is it like that big?
Oh no,
or is it already like a big?
No, it's 6 feet. It hasn't bloomed yet.
Okay. Oh, okay. I just thought it was like this small little thing, and everyone's just sitting around it. I'm like, that seems kind of weird.
Watch it grow every show. I'll take a picture of every show. We're going to show it 6 inches.
Oh, that is so cool.
It's just, again, an idea of what our community can do together. We can do anything. I mean, if I needed anything, this community would back it. And I just think that's what it's about. Yeah. It's not about what I want or what someone else wants. But anyway, that was what we got going on.
That's huge.
We talked a lot about drive sober, get pulled over. I think that's important. We got to stop. We've had 48 OWIs year to date. That was going to be my other trivia question. But year to date, we've had 48.
Okay.
Just at the Sheriff's Department. That doesn't include any PDs. So the Sheriff's Department has arrested 48 people from January 1st till August 1st, or August, I think it was the 16th. I think I got the stats last Monday. Oh, yeah. So 48 people have been arrested for OWI in Barron County. That's just at the Sheriff's Department. Again, no PDs are included in that number. Sure. And we're right on track to be at the same number. I think we had 100 and I should have been a trivia question. How many OWIs last year?
100 and something.
Oh, 85.
I meant 85. Less than
85. Or 85. So we're right. I mean, kind of on track. We're probably a little high compared to last year, but we're close. So hopefully we can bring that number down and stay below 85. Yeah. We can have less OWIs this year. So, but drives over get pulled over. So
I have a question about that.
Okay.
If I'm driving and I'm sober and I have a passenger who's, just blasted. Well, I'm a
Okay,
designated driver, and
that's a
that's,
good thing.
that's a good, right, exactly, that's good.
That's what we want.
Yeah, but now let's say
We're
this.
not supposed to be blasted, but
Yeah, right. Now let's say I have a passenger, and let's say they're in the back seat. I don't know if that makes any difference. They're in the back
okay,
seat, and they are, they're gone. They're wasted, or maybe
okay,
just technically drunk. How about that? It's not like they're
okay,
whatever, just technically drunk, and they have an open container.
okay,
I get pulled over.
okay.
Who is at? Who could be? I wouldn't say at fault, but I mean, who could get charged with something or a ticket? Would it be the driver, the passenger, both, or neither? I feel like neither can't be an option,
Right.
right? Somebody's.
Neither's
I mean,
not
you
the
can't
answer.
do that. So how
Right.
does that work?
You're asking me law enforcement questions now. I got to
Yes.
get back to my law
Yeah.
enforcement hat.
We'll call one of the cops and
Yeah,
get on the
let
radio
me
and ask them.
hang on. I got a call. I got to take.
Yeah.
And a bridge I'm losing. All right, so,
Yeah. Yeah.
no, it's both. Both people could be cited.
Could right.
The driver can be cited. The driver is responsible. And we teach this to our kids all the time. The driver is responsible for what happens in your car. So you've got to control what happens in your car. Not seatbelts, but you got to control what happens in your car. The driver is ultimately responsible, but the passenger can also get a ticket for open container. Most of the time, I would think our deputies would cite the passenger, not the driver. But again, that's where
Yeah,
a
and each
positive
scenario is
attitude comes
different.
into
Yep.
play.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
and working
Interesting.
and doing that. So,
Yeah.
but they can ultimately both be cited. Very rarely does that happen, and just the passenger would be cited, no matter if you're in the front seat or back seat, because I
Okay.
think that's a good comparison. Now, if the beer was in the trunk, again, that doesn't count. The person can't be in the trunk because you can't be.
They shouldn't be in the trunk, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
So,
I guess. Oh, there you go. Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald. That's the headline I'm seeing. It says if you want to, drink in a vehicle with an open container, do it in the trunk.
exactly. Yeah. With the whales or the dolphins or whatever else.
Oh, where's my thing? I don't even know where that went. Oh, it's too. Yeah. Anyway,
There we go.
what else is going on down there?
I see Larry just asked a question about
Oh.
meth, and I think that's a good point.
Uh,
And he's right. Meth is back on our radar. We're back doing some things. We're going to have a town hall meeting very shortly. Actually, it's going to be September 9th at 3:30, probably here in Barron, with Senator Ron Johnson. Ron Johnson's coming up from
What?
Milwaukee. Yeah, he wants to come up and learn about the meth problem, and he thought that Barron County had it going on, and he wants to stop and talk to us in Barron County about meth. So you're gonna see some advertising probably later today or early tomorrow on that. But September 9th, we'll be having Ron Johnson. We're going to invite Janet Bewley. We're going to invite some other people to come and talk about meth, because I don't want people to forget about meth, because I think Larry makes a good point. It's bad. It's still here. It's still our number one problem, and we need to go back on the offensive.
Yeah.
And we're going to do that here in Barron County. We're going to do a lot of prevention, and we're going to do a lot of enforcement. And so if you're selling meth, here we come, because it's on our radar. It's time. Summer's over, and we're going back into meth. We're going to make sure it's not in our schools. Our school officers have been given directives. Meth doesn't happen. So whether you got to do prevention, you got to do enforcement, you got to get in a CI or confidential informant. I don't care what you got to do, but we're not having meth in our schools, and that's going to be our number one priority as we hit school here. So, so we're going to be doing some talks on it. If you want a meth talk, we're happy to come and put one on for your church, your youth group, your whoever.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll do it. We're going to do a talk. We don't just cover meth when we do that. We talk a lot about meth, but we cover some of the other drugs, marijuana and tobacco and alcohol, especially when we hit our kids. And we'll go back into our schools and do some education. I think Andy Cranbill, one of our school officers, Tony Wiegand, our other school officer, are going to do a lot of stuff in the schools this year. We did a lot of stuff over the summer with ATV, snowmobile, and boating safety, and now we're going to flip-flop that and do some stuff with drugs and bad choices and making good choices. The choices you make today affect what happens tomorrow.
That's right.
That's what we're telling kids all the time.
Yeah, we got meth. Seriously, I mean,
Right.
Yeah, that's enough. I'm so tired of I'm tired of it. It's like COVID. Right? We
Yeah.
all want it to be over, but unfortunately, it just isn't.
Right.
So it's like meth. We talk about all the time. Thing is, it's not going away. It just
Right.
didn't. Maybe that's a bad comparison.
Well,
But
I mean, it's not, because people are tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing about meth,
right.
and it frustrates me. But we're just not going to let it get in our high schools. and we're going to do all we can. But that includes people telling us about it, parents, when they say, "Hey, Jimmy, what's going on at school?" And he says, "Wow, Sarah's got meth." Well, let's fix it.
Yeah.
Then let's report that. We have drug tip lines, 537 meth. You can send us a tip 1,000 different ways, but we need those tips to make some stuff happen. And they can't be just, I think Ben Dryden's on meth. Well,
Right.
that's just not, that's, I mean,
No
that
kidding.
can't be
I would
the
be.
tip.
I'm so glad that I'm not addicted to meth or never tried meth, because I wouldn't even know where to get it. Like, no kidding. Like, where? How do you do that? I mean, everybody, like, if you do drugs, you know somebody. Like, I don't know anybody, at least that I know of. Maybe some people I know are, and I didn't even know it, but I wouldn't even know where to get it. I mean, no clue. I'd have to break into the sheriff's office
Right.
and go through your evidence room, because I don't know like how to get. I don't know what it looks like. I wouldn't know how to. I don't know. Is it smoking, or I really don't know much about it other than, boy, that first one, you could be addicted and that will destroy your life. It's not like any other. Well, maybe there are a couple of other drugs, but for the most part, it's so powerful. Your first one, you could be addicted for life, and it will destroy your life. Just one try. And I'm a big fan of trying things even out of my comfort zone, but there are some things. Yeah,
Right.
no. I listen to the Brian Coles of the world that say no. The Chris Fitzgeralds of the world, the Terry Drydens of the world that say no. I've seen it
Right.
one time, and that's it. You're finished. That's scary
And
stuff.
marijuana is different. If Ben was online right now, Ben, our marijuana expert on our line that follows our show, would be saying, "Yeah, smoke marijuana instead, but
Yeah,
don't do that
yeah.
either." I'm not
Don't
saying
do.
that.
It's still
Ben would
illegal, right? Yeah,
Ben
yeah.
would say that because it's better than meth, and he's right. It is better than meth, but
Right.
you raise your addiction process to meth. You have to, marijuana. You can only get your first high is your best high, and you never get that high again. And then you switch drugs, and that's how the cycle of life happens in the drug world. Is you never can get high, and it's very frustrating. And so then you steal because you don't have money to pay for it, and that leads to burglaries and crimes, and that's where we're at. So. We'll keep doing what we can on meth. We need the public's help. I know they're trying all they can to help us because they're tired of it too, just like COVID. And I think that's right. I think that's a fair comparison. We're tired of hearing about it, so let's do something about it.
Well, right. If you're tired of it, then let's exactly. So with Ron Johnson, September 9th, maybe some others. Janet Bewley. By the way, Janet Bewley was supposed. So it's like a month ago. She was supposed to be on a Thursday morning show, and literally 1 minute, 8:29. We go live at 8:30. All our internet went out here at the studio, but it was like all over Spooner, Sawyer County for like 3 or 4 hours. So we've been trying to reschedule her. She was supposed to be on this Thursday, but that actually got moved down to like September 23rd. So actually this Thursday I'll be chatting with the Senator Rob Staffschult will be my guest on Thursday. So when these people are coming in, you had said Ron Johnson, September 9th, 3:30, this drugs and meth town hall thing, and you said that he wanted to reach out to Barron County. Is that one of those like, dang it, I kind of don't want to be? It's like, is he looking at this each county in the state and going, let's see which one's the worst? Barron, I guess that's where I'm going. Or is it more, I'm trying to hit a few counties?
No, I think we've been very active in what we do here. I think from our jail programming to our prevention program, I think our human services has done a good job. Our public health has done a good job. I know people want to ding public health all the time, but I think if you look back before COVID, public health spent a lot of time on alcohol, drugs, tobacco, and they reduced all of those numbers with our help. I mean, but it takes a community to do it. And so for everybody to start dinging public health because they don't like what they did with COVID, let's go back 8 years and talk about all the great things public health has done in Barron County and how we took underage drinking from 135 underage drinkers down to 35. How we've taken meth and put Barron County on the map for its prevention programs. It kind of ticks me off once in a while when we talk about, just because I don't like what they're doing right now, it doesn't mean that what they've been doing for the last 10 years is bad.
Yeah.
So, you got to, you don't have to like what they say. I mean, some of our people don't like their prevention efforts or our drug efforts or our whatever efforts, but too bad. That's what we're doing to make a difference in our county, in Barron County. And if you're from Washburn County, you don't like what Barron County's doing, stay in Washburn County. I mean, I'm not being a dude about
No, I
it, but
totally get it. Yeah.
I mean, that's just the honesty. I think that, people are starting to, you got to do it in a respectful way and you can make your point. And I think that's where we have to do a little bit better job of being more respectful when we go to these county board meetings and school board meetings and whatever. And there's a lot of passion out there, and I'm fine with that passion. I love passion. I'm very passionate about all my topics. And some people aren't. Some people don't think we should be doing as much with prevention. We should be just throwing them all in jail. Well, that's, But there's a balance, and we have to find that balance. And maybe we're swinging it one way, and we bring it back. And I listen to everybody, and I think that's what it's about, as making a difference in the community together and doing that. So,
Yeah.
so
And Mike
uh,
Schaefer had just put up Public Health in Northwest Wisconsin has done a great job with limited resources during COVID.
right.
100% agree.
And his staff has, and all of our medical staff, and we thank them a lot. We need to keep thanking them for what they do. We can't do it alone. We have to do it together, and that's why partnerships with Mike and partnerships that he created through the golf tournament and all that other stuff as what's really making the difference in our community. And Mike said that day at the golf tournament, we could give this money to the hospital, but we wanted to pay back other people that helped us during COVID and helped our community during COVID. And that's, providing food and resources to people that needed it when they were in some tough times. And that's what the golf tournament was about, having fun and making a difference in your community.
Stop saying COVID so much, by the way, because
Okay.
I got an email a couple days ago. So when we do these shows, so this is live right now, and it stays on our Facebook page, and then I put up a post on Drydenwire and just embed this, but I also load it into our YouTube channel. Well, we had Politically Speaking with Adam Jarko and Patty Schochner, which we do once a month. We had a discussion last Thursday. So same process, did it live, put it on there, blah, 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 then put it on our YouTube channel. The next day I get a message from YouTube that they removed that video.
Oh, really?
They sent, not just sent, they just, nope, we're removing this. Did not provide factual information, COVID. I'm like, but, so I appealed it, right? And I'm sending like, but these are two former politicians giving their views and opinions. They're not doctors. They're not medical experts, and we know this, and they can share their views and opinions and state things, and the other person then says, no, you're wrong. And that's what this whole thing is about. Apparently, YouTube didn't like that. So don't say COVID anymore. I don't want to get this banned.
Okay. We'll have to come up with a code word.
Jeez. Big brother.
Like
all right.
We use cutting the grass instead of COVID. I don't know.
Boy, the grass is getting long recently. Yeah, jeez.
Getting a lot of grass growing here.
There you go.
We got to slow down the grass growing.
Yeah. All right. Last words. What do you have? What are you looking forward to? Anything coming up? Obviously, the September 9th, 3:30. You'll have some information about that town hall. You'll be publishing on your page at some point. The Barron County Sheriff's Department's Facebook page. What else is going on?
We're excited about Rutabaga. I really like. Do you ever come to Rutabaga and have a hot pepper sandwich? I mean, they're just fabulous. I know people have been waiting 2 years for them. I think we'll be sold out on Thursday. I love the first shift. I love working with all of the food booths in Cumberland are nonprofit. So when you go to a food booth in the Cumberland Rutabaga, if it's not on the carnival, all of those food booths are nonprofit, by the way. So all of the money that you're spending stays in Cumberland. I think that's a really neat, unique idea where you don't see that.
Oh my, yeah, right. Sorry. That's a good one. Mike's on board. Yeah, he's a good one.
Now he's the weatherman. Now he wants to. I'm going to get to mow your grass this week, Mike, because I think it's going to rain every day.
And anyone just tuning into any of the shows going forward, they have no idea what we're talking about. Boy, they talk about grass a lot.
Get back to it for your grass.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, YouTube.
All right. So we're going to have a great Rutabaga weekend, a great Labor Day weekend. School starts next week. Watch the school zones, 15 miles in school zones. And everybody just have a great school year. Let's go out and let's make a difference. Let's support our teachers, support our kids, and just go have fun. So thanks to all of our superintendents for everything they did to prepare our teachers and our kids for this school year.
Yeah.
So.
Did you see I put up a post last Wednesday, I think, that David Breidenhagen, he's been on our show before, Shell Lake superintendent, that he's this is his last year, he's retiring. So yeah, I said we should probably have him back on for the end of the school year then, especially because if like right at the end of the school year, right? Because then he's retiring, he can say whatever he wants. Not that he doesn't say that anyway, but I'm like, let's wait till the end and have you on, and then just I hate those kids.
We have to say Dave Wilson's name because we haven't yet, so he can tell us what he really thinks of Dave Wilson.
That's a good one. For me, I am absolutely looking forward to. So this is our last show for August. I'm looking forward to September because September, as you probably are well aware, the election year.
Tuesday.
What?
There's one Tuesday in August.
Is there really?
Next week is the 31st.
Oh well, never mind. Well, either way, I'm looking forward to September because that's as soon as you start hearing candidates announcing.
Okay.
Either locally or regionally or even statewide. You'll start hearing lieutenant governors. I'm assuming Rebecca Clayfish is going to be announcing in September. Like, this is the time for the people who have to announce earlier for multiple different reasons. It usually starts in September. And I love this time of year when that stuff starts. Oh, I just love it. So I can't wait. I love that stuff.
All right. Perfect.
All right, man. Anything else going on?
Nothing. Have a safe
Sweet.
weekend, and see everybody next week.
You got it. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by ICAA. ICAA is your local social service organization that works together with individuals, families, and the community to create and support local solutions for local needs. For a full list of services, find them on Facebook or check them out on their website at indianheadcaa.org. Thank all of you for watching, and for all of you who had commented, thank you so much for doing so. We'll see you right back here next week, August 31st, I guess. So until then, stay safe, stay positive, and as always, have a blessed day.